Thank you, Small Fries. Hey, eyes open. I'm okay. Hey, April. Well, guess as good as you could be, right? Hi, Hillary. Hey, Carolina. How you guys doing? Good evening. I see. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna let them whack the back of my skull bigger, and then might be going to Australia. Hey, Sherry. Thank you, Small Fries. Thank you. So I guess yeah, you got that notification. That's good. Thank you, Hillary. Thank you. I tell you, it hasn't been without a price, though. Um, it's cost me, you know, about like any time you go against the mass doing the right thing, you know, you're going to be targeted. Hey, Mikey. My HomePod thanked you. Thank you, HomePod. Thank you, Eyes Open. So, you know, I to my teammates out here, all of yous, eh? I want to apologize if any of you saw a piece of media earlier that was a thumbnail in regards to me having had something to do with the death of Cash. You know, I was really taken, hey Flouncy, I was really taken back when I saw that. But then I realized that's what happens. You know, when hey Vigo Mama, good to see you. I hope you're doing okay. You know, I realized that's part of it. You know, I realized that in the Orrin Orson case, you know, when you had people that you felt like weren't performing the way that you thought, and your frustrations run wild, and you know you have a hard time, I guess, kind of sitting back and you know that case was different, but I see a lot of the same people, you know. See a lot of the same people coming around from the West case, and they've got an opinion, and you know, and that's fine. That's the great thing. Hi, Sammy Page. It's the beautiful thing about YouTube. Let me tell you the not so beautiful part about YouTube. There was a gentleman today that created a piece of media, and you know, we kind of had we were kind of talking or whatever. I don't know what it was, and you know, so anyhow, he creates a piece of media, and you know, it created lots of pieces of media, and I was forced to take his monetization from him today. I'm not happy about it for him. I'm not sitting here celebrating. I think that, you know, I think that there's an adequate, thank you, Kitty. There's an adequate way to voice our opinions and our propagandas and, you know, whatever it is. Now, what I need you guys to understand is that this isn't about the YouTube or the clicks or being, you know, being in the algorithm. Like, this isn't what this is about, right? I mean, for me, it's not, you know? I mean, I think every channel on this whole platform that is talking greasy about this family, and me too, they have no understanding. They have no contextual understanding about why I'm involved in this. You know, I was doing one thing with another person, and that person asked me, two people important to me this last week, they asked me, are you an investigative journalist? Absolutely, Flouncy. I don't have a problem with people voicing their opinion when they do it intelligently. And you know, I'm very passionate about this stuff. It's not anything to be played with, you know? And when I see people playing around with it, I just, it hurts my heart. It really hurts my heart. But anyhow, I wanted to let you guys know that if this was about clicks and views and all of that, you're welcome, Flouncy. If this was about clicks and views, you know, I could reasonably screenshot every single thing and put it all on here, online. And Monica wouldn't have a problem with that, right? Because she trusts the way that I'm trying to advocate for her and her family. So it'd be a no questions asked kind of deal, right? But that's not what I'm about either. I'm not about trying to make a name off of someone else's pain, right? I'm not about thinking. Let me step back. Earlier this morning, Monica called me and she said, Benny, the Dallas Morning News, they just called me and they tried to trick me into saying that Darian was crazy. And I said, okay, what did you say? And she said, I just hung up. And I said, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, that's great. So then you see a couple of hours ago, the gentleman from Dallas Morning News, he's standing down there in the area and he's talking about how Monica went down and pleaded for Darian. That's not the case. Let me explain to you the truth from the person who's been lied on by the media over and over and over, right? So for whatever reason, Dallas Morning News reporter, journalist, whatever you want to call him, he thought it'd be cute to ask Monica for a statement regarding this. So then she declined and hung up, and she contacted me. And she told me what happened, and then I saw the subsequent article, or the subsequent publishment, whatever the hell, jeez. And this guy has the audacity to say that Monica went down there and begged the police not to take that POS to jail because he was mental. That's not what happened at all, right? So there's the commotion in the street, right? I mean, it's you know, this guy's broke into a house, tried to take a little girl and punched a man in the mouth behind it. So quite naturally, the neighborhood is lit up behind all this, right? So police end up asking her, because she's out there, what's going on with this dude? She says, Lorley, now look here. You can't come over here doing all of that, okay? Not right now. This is not the time, okay? Please don't do that. Mike is a moderator here, and we don't argue. We're not here to argue, okay? If that's what you want to do, then you'll lose access to this part of it, okay? Don't do that, okay? Please have respect. Act your age in here, please. Come on now. Mike is a trusted friend of mine. Mike doesn't start trouble with anyone. So if you're in here and I see Mike cutting into you, then you've got a problem with me as well. Just please be respectful. Prove it. We're not the police, ma'am. What we're taking is what we know from Monica, the details from that, and we're applying it to what we know. All in favor of this, all in light, not favor, all in light of bashing a suspect. Okay? That's it. We're not gonna, this platform is not to bash Monica or to bash her mom or to bash anyone. What's up, beautiful cherry? That's not what this is about. Please be respectful. I don't want to have to engage you like that again, ma'am. Please stop. Anyways, so the police ask her, you know what you know about this boy? She says, yeah, I know him from the neighborhood. He's a troublemaker. That's what she told the police. He's a troublemaker. What you're seeing in the news, guys, is I don't know what could possibly be Dallas Morning News motive other than trying to keep this story in the headlines for views and clicks like everybody else. But what that gentleman doesn't understand that he's doing is he's creating the environment in Dallas County for jurors to accept that this guy's crazy, right? Because he must be crazy, right? If he butchered a little white boy, right? That's gotta be crazy, right? Well, what if he'd have butchered a little black boy? Would that have still made him crazy? Of course. Hey, KCK, hey, beautiful. That thing, we haven't forgot about it. We just keep getting tied up with this other stuff. So, name who? Name who? Aussie. Name who? The reporter. I don't even know his name. I don't know his name. If you know it, put it in here and I'll say it. So what this guy wants to do is he's trying to create a narrative. Now, let me tell you this. We live in an environment where that white journalist can't safely get on there and say a whole bunch of the truth about Darian Brown without being attacked and having his newspaper attacked. So although they're reporting on him, it's essentially pro-Brown, right? Brown's crazy. Brown's crazy. Do you think Lori Vallow Daybell is crazy? That chick might be crazy. Look at her. Darian Brown ain't crazy. He's far from it. He knew what he was doing. He was very tactful and very calculative throughout all of his movements. In fact, he knew that neighborhood of Southwest Dallas is logistically on an island, essentially. Now they have a fire department right there, and they have ambulance services that can get close. But it's this strange, sketchy place, not sketchy for any reason other than the logistics of it, that if it's not a certain kind of case, Duncanville police, who is right across the street, they're not coming over there. Okay? They don't come over there. It has to be, it has to meet a criteria for them to cross that line over there. So what you essentially are looking at is you're looking at a scenario where a Dallas policeman has to come from quite a ways away in order to get there. And you see this reoccurring theme with Brown is that he's busting up shit. He's doing this and that. And then what? No charges, right? So, you know, the police aren't getting there. They're not responding. You might be able to conclude that, you know, Darian's stepfather in some respect or some form or fashion or dynamic is making it easier for his stepson, you know, to try to get through this troubled phase of his life without, you know, effectively ruining what future he could have, right? At such a young age, okay? So it's a sad day in America right now. It really is. It is a sad day in America, and I'm one of them guys that I gotta laugh or I'm gonna cry about it. Sincerely, legitimately. Like, you know, there are people out there that have, you know, the nastiest history. High Southern sass. I'm feeling feeling like crap, and I made the mistake of watching the video of the procedure the brain surgery I'm getting ready to have, and I'm just spooked. You know, they're setting up a plea for insanity. Absolutely. Setting up a plea for insanity. What you heard was that allegedly from that same reporter, see, this is the thing. The guy tried to make, that reporter from Dallas Morning News, he tried to make the claim that he was crazy and tried to make Monica I'm sorry, guys. I keep getting distracted by the chat. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to hide it for a minute. I'm sorry. This guy goes on there and he tries to say that Monica did this and got that. Does Monica have the power? Does Monica have the power to not prosecute this man? Can she say, oh, no, he didn't murder or kidnap anybody. He's just a troublemaker. Monica does not have that power in life, in her own life, right? So what you heard was the man contradict himself. He said, oh yeah, Monica was down there saying he was crazy, begging and pleading for him not to go to jail. But then the reporter says they took him in, they evaluated, and they released him. That's not what they do with crazy people. They evaluate you and then they commit you. So the man is not crazy. Look at the charges, right? So you're going to have a hard time, out of towners, you're going to have a hard time battling me in this media trying to say that he's crazy because you got the reporter contradicting himself. Now, let me tell you what also happened. Where this is coming from Darian's mother, Miss Brown, because Darian's mother, she is the one that has made this miscommunication, right? So what had happened was they had Darian in the car when they talked to Monica on the scene out there, right? And she said, he's a troublemaker. Told him the things that he's been involved in around there, right? And then they leave with him, and she goes in the house. She didn't have any idea what was going on with that boy after that until Darian's mom, Miss Brown. She calls Monica, and she says, oh, Miss Sherrod, thank you so much for not having my son locked up. And Monica said, what? She said, yeah. The detectives and everything told me that you know, you're the one that kept Darian out of jail. And she says, that's not what I did. I told him he was a troublemaker around here. So we live in this strange world of YouTube where people want receipts. I'm not going to play your game. But let me tell you, 3 days ago, we had this conversation, her and I already. This is not anything that we're manufacturing on the way. they're just things that are being addressed as they pop up because they're insane. Why would a Dallas Morning News guy get on there and try to legitimize himself as a true crime reporter by saying this man is crazy and not have enough forethought to see the end of his own segment? The end of his segment, he says, oh yeah, they took him in, he was evaluated, and he was cut loose. So let me tell you, Mr. Dallas Morning News, they cut him loose. Now they've charged him for it. Make it make sense, Dallas Morning News. Because I can't make what you're saying make sense. You're saying apples and oranges. You're saying NHL and NBA. Like, you're contradicting yourself, sir. And to that, I don't have an answer for it because it's your mainstream media, Mr. Dallas Morning News. These other jokers and yahoos, they're not. But you're who they look at and look up to. Some of these people that want to make this their lifelong mission. I tell you what, I can't make this my lifelong mission. I can't do it. I'm going to do it until I can't do it no more, and then I'm going to quit. Point blank. I'm going to do this for as humanly long as possible. Or for as long as humanly possible. Right? I'm under the microscope just like Monica, right? Today I was told I killed Cash. And then when the guy called me after I took his monetization away, he was upset. And he said, no, I was asking it like a question. And I said, well, guess what? The people calling my house, not my house, the people calling my phone, threatening me about it, they don't think it's just a question. That's not all American. That's cartel behavior. I'm not going to be pushed around. I'm not going to be threatened on another case, right? So I told this gentleman, due to the nature of everything going on with the YouTube, I have an open portal to the Plano police. I don't have to drive in my car no more. I don't have to call the police anymore. All I have to do is take the screenshots and the downloaded videos and load them into a portal and just send them over. Right? Like we're past all of that now. Like this isn't, we're not playing the short game. We're playing the long game here, right? This is for, I'm choking up on that driver, and I'm playing the long game. I'm not playing the short game with y'all no more, So, I want to ask you guys out there a question. I mean, how much more do you think it has to develop, or how much more YouTube investigation or slander or defamation do you have to do before you're like, okay, well, they're not charging her. They're just going to keep souping up the charges for Brown and whoever else is out there that's involved that we don't know about or we do know about or whatever. There's certain things that got to be kept in a vacuum. They just have to. And what's strange is that when I see the media online and I know the truth, and if I don't know the truth, I can just call her and ask. Nobody online knows anything. You know nothing. You know nothing. I've talked to her children. Told her children, stop playing with these people online. Young kids, she's got some young kids that are social media age right now. And, I've talked to them and I'm like, listen, man, got to just keep this in a vacuum. If somebody says, well, this is this and this is what I think happened, you don't tell them what was happening to prove them wrong. And I explained to them how these people out here, they think they're slick and it's all mousetrap, snares, and bait, right? So that they can, so that they can get you on a recording somewhere, right? And either catch you out of your character or saying something about the case that's either a new lead or a lie they want to catch you in. Like, man, you people are vicious. Guess what? I don't see nobody else standing in line for Monica, unfortunately. Well, I do now. At the time I entered this, There wasn't. She was just out there solo. If I wasn't doing this, who would be? Who would be? I sat by and let this thing go by a week, almost 8 days. My team leader was like, "It's open and shut. We're not gonna touch it." I said, "Yeah, I agree." I left it alone. I saw cash Gernon stuff, and I went the other way. And then people started sending me the media about how it had turned so quickly. I mean, it was already about Monica, you know, and I just was beside myself. I could not imagine. First of all, I tried to explain this to people. Do you think that, let's just say, let's hypothesize here let's just put me into it, right? Let's say Benny's kid goes missing. And you think Benny had something to do with it. Do you think hollering at me and cussing at me and inciting people and enticing people to come by my house and damage it and do different things and give me death threats and death threaten my children and you know, there's people online now calling CPS just dun 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 dun, you know, like what do you think, right? Like you know what I mean? Like, wife, would you please just hold on for a minute and stop texting me? Because I got these things going on, and then when you text me, you know I can't read them, and then I lose my train of thought. So, everybody wants a piece. Everybody wants a fucking piece. I can't go online without people stalker calling me and troll calling me, trying to stop it. People texting me in the middle of it, like, you know, not my wife. She's probably talking about something going on in the house. But other people. Like, why the hell are you going to text me while I'm online? Why? I mean, you know I'm online. Like, why are you going to text me in the middle of it? Like, you want me to stop doing this and answer your question and come back to that? Man, come on, man. It's impossible to even try to get, it's impossible to try to keep your train of thought on here with all this bullshit, man. It's impossible, man. I can't. I'm sorry, guys. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. All what you're seeing out there is for clicks and views. I can't even try to, you know, engage with people and equate to people that are desensitized by watching that black and white video of that man carrying that boy out of there. That is the problem, is that everyone's desensitized. Right? We live in a time where as long as it's not your family and your kid, you don't give a shit. You don't care. And you know what that speaks volumes about? I care about Monica's kids. I care about my neighbors over here, kids who just moved in, and I've never even seen the parents. I just hear the little kids in the backyard. Best believe if there's something going on out here or anywhere, there's some kids involved, I'm gonna get in front of them kids. So if you're involved in making the environment there turbulent and violent for them, you either A, have no kids of your own, so you don't know what that feeling is, or B, you have kids and you don't give a shit about your own kids. So you can tell a lot about the way somebody treats their own kids by the way they treat other people's kids that aren't theirs, right? So I'm supposed to believe that you think all these crazy things about Monica. You're speculating. You're not calling the police with these concerns. You're just putting them out here for the reptilians to devour and incite. Right? What do you think? You think that's fair? You think that's fair? Yeah? You think that's fair? You don't know nothing. You people want to shame these victims, and especially right now Monica, based upon her past criminal record. Do you have any idea of some of the things that Monica may potentially had to have endured throughout her life as a child and a young woman? And maybe found herself at a point in time where drugs was the only thing that could help her manage the chaos and the pain. She's come through that. Right? She's come through that. But because you think you're already biased, right? You see, you tore into her background, or her background was completely torn into before you saw her moving and actuating in real life. So you're already biased in your mind by saying, oh, she's got a problem with this or that in the past. And then you see her in distress and anxious, which anxiety and stress, the behaviors that are manifested from that will look a lot like somebody that's jumpy and looking around. And like this woman just had a child taken from her house, butchered, and then another. Like she doesn't know who's who. She never been around no big mainstream movie cameras, and now she got some in her house. Right? You want me to watch you greasy reptilian YouTubers destroy a fellow Texan of mine? Let me tell you what. And she knows this. She has my full support. Even after, hypothetically, there were an issue and charges were brought against her, she'd still have my support. But I'm definitely looking at the situation differently by then. But right now, knowing what I know and what you don't know, it's a reason why she's still at home. It's a reason why Cameron's still at home. It's a reason why that rug that was rolled out on the lawn that everyone thought was such a great cinematic, contextual piece of what the FBI evidence collection team was doing there that day, that it's still on their porch. I stand on top of it when I go knock on that door. It's nothing. Dallas Morning News. You want to blame it on Monica? You also, you're essentially victim shaming the family who Brown assaulted and tried to take the child. Because what you're saying is to that family that had your child almost abducted and you were assaulted by Mr. Brown, nothing was done to him and it's Monica's fault. We didn't lock him up because it's Monica's fault. She begged us not to. In what the fuck court of land, law in the land, does that make any sense? No one would, there'd be no need for prisons or institutions or psychiatric facilities for the criminally insane or otherwise. If the neighbor could just get you out of the sling, well, fuck, man, I got about 16 real good partners right now locked up in the feds for nonviolent crimes. Man, let's go ahead and tell a story and bring them home too, Dallas Morning News. Let's do that. Bring my people home, sir. While you're trying to keep this man out, bring my people home. They ain't butchered nobody. So then you want to blame it on the police, right? Oh, the police did this. And you might as well blame it on the Hispanic family for having, you know, a daughter that Darian Brown might want to have. Let's blame it on them. It's not Darian Brown's fault. It's this supposed mental illness you want to give him, Dallas Morning News. That's all he's got. Dallas Morning News, why don't you call the jail and ask them what part of the jail they put the psych patients in? The same psych patients that you said were locked up, evaluated, and let loose, they put those in the West Tower, sir. Not in the North Tower. Sir. I mean, what do you want to do? What do you really want to do? What's next? What do you want to do next for Monica and Cameron? What do you want to do for them? What? I mean, there's still lots of stuff you could say and do and I mean, what? You just want to make sure that you know, it's impossible for her to do anything else with the rest of her life because she's absolutely petrified to go outside because everyone thinks that through the court of public appeal, she's been remanded to her house forever because of you janky ass YouTubers. Bruce Davis. I am her bodyguard when it comes to shit like that. You're absolutely right, sir. You've never been more right about anything, sir. The same thing that I want for my family is the same thing that I want for Monica and the Gernon and the Seagrove family and the Pinkerton family. Same things. I don't want anything different from them than I want for myself. But you look at a bunch of these Philistine YouTubers, oh boy, they got cousins and uncles and aunties and brothers and shit, neighbors and shit, all locked up, talking about free him, free him. Do you understand that when you victim bash, what you're actually doing is giving life to the suspect? And a lot of people say, oh no, I'm not. They're like, oh no, I'm just lighting a fire in my living room. I'm not burning down my house. Right? That's what we're doing, right? We're just lighting a fire. We don't want to burn nothing down, right? Is that it? We just want some entertainment. We don't want anybody to actually get hurt, right? No, that's not the point. That's not the case. You people want to see somebody else get hurt. Not my team. But a whole tens of thousands of y'all out there want to see somebody get hurt, right? I mean, let's just be real. It's kids going missing all around America. You latched onto this one because of the violence in it. America loves violence. You'll watch little Cash get snatched out of his bed and then switch over and watch Conor McGregor beat the cowboy shit out of somebody else. And the whole time, you're excited, right? Why do you think they put all the police shootings online? Why? Because it happens with such frequency, they want to desensitize you to the idea that maybe one day you or someone you know may pop up in one of these videos. Becomes commonplace, right? Yeah, you bash one victim and you build a template. And every other victim that you think doesn't fit your moral standard, you throw them in this template and you watch them bounce around like a fucking pinball, right? Meanwhile, their life is actually disintegrating. Oh, yeah. In our opinion, right? In our online opinion from fucking Canada or from fucking Kansas or from fucking California, right? We want to see her family just destroyed. We want to see her family destroyed. And you know what's going to make it even better? Is if we destroy her family before the law even gets a chance to take a look at anything. Yeah. Or, oh no, you know what would be even better? What would be even better is to pollute the jury pool, put the dead man walking brown on there, tie the fucking court system up in the TV and the YouTube for about 3 weeks while I run through down all these charges and this bullshit, and then cut him loose. Because some juror got on there and played around with the shits, right? Right? Maybe it's a juror that has a problem sending a black boy to jail during these times in this environment in life, in America and in the world, right? No one wants to be seen as the person that's targeting the black man. I understand 400 plus years of targeting. But this man, he's not part of y'all's movement, right? Darian Brown is not a fair example of the black race. The black race, we talked about this before. The African American community is much stronger than your typical Caucasian community. Let me explain it to those that don't know. The best a Caucasian American could do is to have a stepdad and a stepmom that they admire. Because then they could say, I have a stepdad or I have a stepmom, right? Black folks can have that too. But black folks, they call their grandma Big Mama. And they call their granddaddy Big Daddy, right? So on and so forth. Sort of this immediate family that takes on a role, right? It's like an auntie that breastfeeds a child of her sister's that's not hers, right? It takes the community in order to make the whole thing shake right. I don't know. I'll tell you what, it's a bunch of people out there that hate Monica and they don't even know why. They have no earthly idea why they're even mad at her. Right? Yeah. Monica has went through the whole range of emotions that a regular parent would. Right? Killers or people involved in killing of a child, they don't call me and say, oh, Benny, shit, Benny, I'm in the boys' room. It's so quiet. My kids are just sick. They miss Carter. They miss Cash. And then she shows me all the coloring on the walls. And it was Cash. Cash liked pens. Cash, the pens had to be kept away from Cash because Cash, Monica said, was going to be an artist or a writer. And I believe he probably was, you know, the little boy had a spark in his eye that he could have probably authored his own book and illustrated it as well. So the little boy, he liked to put his hand on the wall and draw around it like so many of the kids do. And he'd do Carter's hand, and you know, he was a little Picasso, you know, and I'm certain every parent, before their child is murdered, finds that kind of behavior naughty. Oh, you naughty boy. You look what you've done to my wall, you naughty boy. You color on the paper, not the wall. Now she goes in there because it's so quiet, and she's still looking for these boys that have been there. And she sees the little handprint on the wall. And she can't even catch her breath after that. She's going to cut the little boy's handprint off the wall. Cut the drywall off the wall and leave a hole there when they leave. Does that sound like, I mean, I know regular people that throw away Christmas cards after Christmas of their great grandmother or their 90-year-old grandmother or whatever. They throw them like it's sentiment, right? Let me tell you something about sentiment, and then I'm going to close up for the night. What the children of today lack is nostalgia and sentiment, right? These kids these days probably never handle a developed picture of themselves or someone in their family, right? All the pictures are right here, right? So when you lose your phone or Johnny spills water on it or somebody steals it or it just burns up, everything that's in there, if you didn't do right by it, it's gone with the phone, right? You're like, okay, fuck it, I'll just get a new one. Oh yeah, but I had all of Jerry's graduation on there, and I had all of Susie's swimming practice, and I had, you know, Tommy's birthday party, and I had little Katie riding the bike for the first time. It was all on there, but fuck it, we'll make new memories, right? These kids have no sentiment. They have no nostalgia. They're missing a lot of these nuances that some of us, I'm a 70s baby. I was born in 79, right? No nostalgia, no sentiment, no love, no care about things of an inanimate nature. If you can't touch it and abuse it and use it up and throw it away, it's no good to you, right? Kids of this generation are consumers. There's going to be no more carpenters, no more roofers, no more concrete people. Those jobs, which are so critical, are going to be left to Hispanic people, right? Lazy white kids, they don't want to do that shit. They want to be Xbox kings and fucking YouTube stars. They don't want to build hospitals, right, that have nurseries for babies, and they don't want to be a part of a housing growth that will stimulate their community. No. So who's going to build all the skyscrapers? Who's going to continue to go to school to be doctors and lawyers? We got a bunch of kids right now. They don't care about anything. Nothing. Shoot without thinking, stab with no remorse, go back for more. And what do? We want to blame the victim. Might as well blame the little boy. Blame the dad. Mom's blaming them. Just downright refuses with an adamance that's so grand that even a public defender thinks that this boy could be innocent. Ay, ay, ay. I'm not going to keep you anymore. I know a lot of you have a lot more important things to do with your life than sit here and listen to me babble and all of that. So I apologize for not following the chat. I had some serious things I had to get off my mind, and I'm too nice of a guy. I get just a piece into what I got to say, and then I got to answer somebody because I love them. But this one was for Cash and Monica and Carter, right? I'm gonna wrap up with this. I was asked by Doug this week, are you a investigative journalist or are you an advocate? Aussie asked me the same thing, verbatim. I didn't answer either of them. About 24 hours later, I think, I made the decision. I'm not an investigative journalist. I don't care anything about being investigative and journaling, nothing. I advocate for victims. That's it. And in doing so, it's a wide spectrum. You know, the way I could advocate for a child of a predator is to, you know, crack bones, lump faces, call police, do whatever I gotta do. I'm gonna advocate for a child. I'm going to advocate for a victim. See, I believe that when you don't advocate for a victim, what you do is you give birth to a permanent victim. When you don't empower a victim to move outside of the victimhood, they stay stuck there. They become a glutton for it. This sort of victimization is not just a few quick stab wounds and a dump in the street. Although by itself that is unhumanly imaginable. You are slowly torturing Monica and her family. Do you know that every time you share that black and white video of that piece of shit taking that beautiful little boy out of there, you know you're destroying someone's heart somewhere that actually does love those kids? Do you know that? Do you know that if you create a piece of media that suggests that I had something to do with killing that boy, even if it's a theorizing, even if it's the comment of a theorizing theorist, don't you know you put my 2 children at risk? You don't care about children. A lot of you don't. A lot of you care about vindicating something that you feel is more important than all the rest of it. I hear people saying, oh, she's a meth head, she's this and that. Not focusing on the boy or focusing on Brown. You guys have a great evening before I get out of character. I love each and every one of you individually. Remember, the absence of evidence is not the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Okay? Remember that. Just because something's there doesn't mean it's askew. Just because something's not there doesn't mean that it's askew, right? And until you have a badge on and you're pushing the pen as the lead in one of these investigations, and you're not on the front line with the family, hang 10, baby. Hang 10, right? Kick your feet up, roll you some rope, crack you a beer, whatever you got to do. Hang 10, right?